Okay, good morning children. Today I'm going to teach you how to make strawberry jam. It's very simple. We need only 5 ingredients, maybe 6 if you want to add extra pink. We need some strawberries, we need a lemon, we need some sugar, some water, and finally some spices if you want to. These are optional. So that's it. These are ingredients. So let's begin. Okay, so for equipment we need a measuring scale, a measuring cup for water, a nice non-stick pot, something to stir with, something to mash with, and finally some jars which we're going to sterilize when we finish our jam. And that's it. Okay, so that's your equipment. Okay, so I've washed and I've cleaned my strawberries, and here I am weighing them, and as you can see, I hope, it's about 300 grams, so you need to have exactly the same amount of sugar as your fruit. And this holds true for pretty much all of the fruits except grapes. Grapes are very sweet, so if you had 300 grams of grapes, just use 150 grams of sugar. Okay, so hold on a minute and we will continue. Okay, so I have emptied the strawberries into the pot. There they are, and now we're going to weigh out our sugar, and let's hope that we actually have 300 grams, and we have 100 grams. So I'm moving on to brown sugar. Okay, and here we go, and as you can see, we're pretty close to 300 grams now. So in this particular case, it doesn't matter that the sugar is mixed some white, some brown, because we're going to have pink strawberries anyway. Okay, so now we just pour our sugar over our strawberries, and here we go, and there you have it. You can see both the sugars are beautifully mixed right there. Doesn't it look beautiful? And now we're going to add some lemon. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut 2 slices of lemon and I've taken the seeds out, and we just add them. Oh wait, here's a seed, and we add them to our pot of strawberries and sugar. There we go. And now we add water, and if you like, just for a little bit of added spiciness, you could add some cinnamon sticks too. That does help, or cloves, or anise, but I think cinnamon sticks, 1 or 2 is enough. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to put in our water. So hold on. Okay, so these are the spices. I've got 1 star anise, which is that one over there, which looks like this. They smell of licorice. You might like them very much. And then I've got some pieces of the bark of the cinnamon tree, whole cinnamon, which I'm now going to add. So let's do that now. We add our spices. If you like, sometimes this is very nice, you can put in a bit of powdered cinnamon as well, or what do we call it, ground cinnamon, I guess. Okay, and the final thing to add is some water. I've got 2 cups of water here, but what I'm going to do is add 1 cup first, and then boil it for a while, and if I need to, I'll add the 2nd cup. One final thing I want to say to you: as you boil your strawberries, they might become very pale. So if they kind of lose their beautiful pink color, I'm going to put in a slice of beetroot to kind of be my natural colorant. So let's see how it goes, and I will show you a few pictures during the cooking process, and hopefully by the end we're going to have strawberry jam. Okay, so for the second part of the video, you can see that the strawberries are boiling away, and we have some foam on the top here, which I'm going to have to take out, because apparently I'm told in the recipe books that the foam can actually be poisonous. So we need to scoop it out with a spoon, but I'll do that later. In the meantime, I'm doing something much more interesting on the other side of the kitchen, which I'm going to show you right now. Hold on. Okay, so because we only have 300 grams of fruit, I figured we could either have 1 big jar, or in my case, because I live alone and I don't eat that much jam, 3 small jars. So I have washed these carefully and I'm now going to sterilize them in a bowl of boiling water. So here we go. Okay, so these are my 3 clean jars and I'm now going to pour the boiling water on them and make sure that they're completely sterile. Of course, when you do this, please, please, please don't burn yourself. Be very, very cautious. And you can just fill them till they overflow and then let them stand. And leave them until they're reasonably, well, cooler. Because when the jam is ready, you've got to boil them. Well, the hot jam has to go into like at least a warmish jar that you haven't really touched much. Okay. Right, so our jam is continuing to boil. And we are now going to do this bit, which is to take off this foam, which is considered to be the unhealthy bits of the jam. I don't actually know, because there've been once or twice that I've made jam and I haven't actually removed the foam and nobody died. But if we're going to do it correctly, according to the recipe, according to my granny, then we need to take off the foam. Well, just this, this very scummy looking part of the foam. Okay, so as you can see, it actually starts to look like jam. It's become clearer. All the water's boiled away. In the end, I actually only used 1 cup of water, not 2. And you can see it's a bit thicker and it's a bit clearer and it looks a lot more like jam. And maybe we should at least test the color now and see if we want to add some beetroot. I actually think it makes a very nice natural colored light pink strawberry jam, but if you want a deeper pink, let's test it. Okay, so this is my plate that I've had in the freezer. I don't necessarily have to test it. This is just the color test, it's not the consistency test. But seeing as it's the plate that I have on hand, we're going to... Okay, so what do you think? That color's not that bad, actually. I kind of like it. In terms of consistency, it's still a little bit runny. But it's a nice healthy pink color. But let's try a little bit of beetroot juice anyway. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut 2 very large thick slices of beetroot, which you can see there, because I'm going to put them in the jam and obviously I want to find them again. So that's why I've made them really big. I suppose if you don't care about having a little bit of beetroot in your jam, you could grate them and just add them. The other thing I wanted to say to you, the reason that we're putting in bits of lemon is because the acid in the lemon helps to set the jam. And you don't need to buy pectin. I know all the modern recipes are going to tell you need pectin. You actually don't really need pectin. You can just use some slices of lemon. If you like, at the end of your jam, you can take the lemon out. Some people prefer to leave the lemon in because it just gives it that added dimension of having like almost a bit of marmalade. And it's a nice kind of tart, sour taste to offset the sweetness of the jam, and a lot of people like that. Okay. So let's get on to the next part of the jam making process. Okay, so as you can see, the color has actually deepened and it is a very nice dark red color, so not quite so pink as it was. And now I'm going to test for readiness, which is to take the frozen plate out of the fridge and see how quickly the jam runs across the surface. Okay, let's see how we do in this test. Right, so there's my spoon of jam, and when we tilt the plate, it's supposed to run but not too fast, and I think that's actually an okay test for readiness. It's reasonably soft, it's not too hard, it's not running too fast, it's kind of sticky and thick, so that's okay. And what I've done is I've taken out my 2 little pieces of beetroot And now it's time for the thing I struggle with, which is actually to put them in the little jars. So we'll make another short video for that part. Okay, so we're at our final stage, and hopefully I'm going to manage to do this without burning myself. I'm not sure if I can. Yes, I can. I'm going to pick them up. Okay, they're still sterilized, and I'm going to just pour this water down the sink, and then we start the process of putting the jam into the little pot. I think I'll put my little pot here, and just whatever you do, make sure that the jam doesn't touch your fingers. It's really hot. It's a very bad burn. And make sure that your pot remains clean, and just very gently scoop the jam out into the tiny pot, and off you go, and just keep going. Okay, so in the end I got 2 little tiny pots of jam. I didn't need the third one. A minimum amount of mess, not too much, 1 pot. And what I just want to tell you is, once you've put the jam in the jar is very hot, because the jam is hot and it's just come out of boiling water. So when you close it, either get your mother or your father to help you, but in either way you need to protect your hands from the heat. Don't get any of the hot jam on your fingers. It's going to burn in a very deep burn that I can't even describe to you. I don't have words to describe to you how painful a hot sugar burn is. Do not do it. It's much more painful than a boiling water burn. Okay, so we have 2 pots of jam. We had 300 grams of strawberries, 300 grams of sugar, 2 slices of lemon, a bit of spices, and 1 cup of water, and just boil away, and that's it. All right, boys and girls, I hope you had fun. This is the first cooking lesson. Bye.